Oh, I don't know these guys. It's not about them. It's about the misinformation. I don't like when people spread misinformation. Ending nothing. I don't expect from nobody. I'm going to do whatever I need to do with the people who want to do whatever it is with me. Want to unite, whatever that looks like. I'm cool with that. Who doesn't want to deal with me? I'm cool with that also, because guess what? My own people. I have my own Jamaican people who will tell me that, oh, because I grew up in Canada, I'm not Jamaican anymore to them. I'm used to this. I don't care how you feel. I just don't like misinformation. The Caribbean countries have economies. And at the end of the day, at the end of the day, we all share a common ancestor, Diknesh, aka Lucy. Every person on planet Earth shares a common mother. Y'all can cry about it. I don't care. Moving along.
I think to say that white.
All right, I guess I'll go. Antigua. I'm sorry, I was waiting for one of the mods to go. Maceo, welcome. If you can answer the middle prompt, and then you can stand on business on whatever you're talking about in the comments. But please share the live out to 10 people. Everyone coming up, just share the live out to 10 people. So if you could do that. In the meantime, let's just take a moment and everyone tap. While he's sharing the live out, everyone tap. Because we should have been way up by now.
So what am I doing? Sharing the live first or answering?
Share the live while you're getting the tapping. We're going to let everyone tap while you're sharing. So you could go ahead and then it's your turn. So if everyone can get the likes up while he is sharing the live out to 10 people. Mika, please remember you're introducing people that come up because I am multitasking while I'm listening in. So,
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so this idea
Maceo, you shared it to one person.
I shared it to a group chat. It only comes up as one person, but there's a whole group in there that it got shared to.
Okay, can you share it to 10 different people?
That's what sharing it to the group is, but okay.
Well, if you don't mind, thank you. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming up, by the way. Haven't seen you in a while. Guess she was mad at me, but whatever.
No, I just don't like people that don't know anything.
Okay, no, don't start here on the live. If you want to talk to me, you can talk to me one-on-one. We're not gonna do that. Okay, so while he's sharing the live out, if we could just get the taps up. Thank you, Maceo. If you could go ahead and answer the middle one.
Latino Arabs.
And unmute
Could you
your
read
mic.
it out to me? I can't
it's
see
on
it.
Mika. Unmute your mic.
Can you read it out to me? I can barely see it. They have come over and done more for black women and children than the black man. So is this a question or a statement?
Please just answer the prompt.
You dummies are annoying as hell.
Okay, so no, they haven't. That's my answer.
Can you explain?
So Pew Research actually put out an article, I believe it was 2019, about black women in STEM. And over 70 some odd percent of black women in STEM have said they face racial discrimination from non-black people, and that's one of the main reasons why they either left STEM or they've moved around in their careers. I don't see any of these people with any type of legislative power or societal power in general actually advocating for anybody outside of their group, especially black women. Where are these people when more than half of the country has not passed the Crown Act to protect a majority, or rather black women in general, from hair texture discrimination? No non-black person is doing that unless you can show it to me. Where are these non-black people when black women are victimized by the police and the justice system, similarly to how black men are? They're nowhere. I didn't see any non-black men or non-black women collectively saying anything about Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor, Sonia Massey. We could go down the list. So unless you can prove that to me, I don't see it.
All right, could you expound on what you were saying in the comments, and you can address anything that was said on the panel or address anyone on the panel?
Yeah, saying that no other group of people came together based on race is idiotic. And then to say Germans and Italians, which aren't races, didn't do it is stupid. Because there's multiple races within Germany and Italy. Because they aren't races. This is the same person that equated child support to grape. He knows nothing. He sat on the stage and said various Caribbean countries don't have an economy. Is he okay? Now, if you want to say that he's
Hold on, chat. 1 second, chat.
so, if
Come on, no profanity. Maceo, if you can say who you're talking about for
I'm
the
clearly
listeners,
talking to the person at the top, Chad. So, okay, if somebody wants to argue that various black countries have had their economies destroyed by the West, you can make that argument. It don't mean they don't have an economy. It just means that it's been taken over by foreign powers. But it don't mean they don't have an economy. Saying that is idiotic. Just like comparing a woman not being able to keep a man from his child is the same as a woman not being able to keep a man from taking her body or her daughter's body, which is he said, is idiotic. What's next?
I really hate the fact that you think you came up here and ate. You literally said nothing of value.
Okay, I was talking to him.
I'm sorry. I don't know if you hear me talking. You stopped. It's not turn. I am here to let you know, as intellectual as you sounded like you should have a sippy cup, because nothing you said makes any sense. I don't even whatever you have going on with Chad and another live, keep that shirt there. We don't give a damn over here. We have a whole topic we're discussing. So, I need you to stay focused. And then the first part you said, if I could reach through my phone and choke you and let you know how stupid you sound, I would. Do y'all read? Do you even read the newspaper? Do you read the fucking newspaper? Everything you said can be contradicted by turning on the TV or logging out of TikTok and Googling it. Everything. I swear to God, y'all come up here. You start talking and you think because you're articulating your words a specific way, you sound intelligent. You don't. You literally don't. I hate that we are stuck in this realm of anti-intellectualism with you. You started off with saying, I don't understand the question. I don't understand the question. But now you're here. You didn't understand the question, but yet you're here. Why? And you were in the comments making all of these different statements, but yet you don't understand what's happening. Why y'all do that? If you don't understand what's going on and you don't understand the question, don't come up here. Because I don't have time for it. My brain, the way my brain is set up, I only go directly to answers. I don't have time for y'all little fluffy words and it really doesn't make any sense. I don't like it. I think you're weak and I want more for y'all. But y'all don't even want more for yourself, so it's a losing game. It's literally a losing game. You came up here to argue. You literally came up here to argue with men who don't. I'm sorry. Do you not hear my voice? G, are we having a problem with the mute button again? You came up here to argue. You came with no real argument. You could have Googled some of that before you came up here so you could have a little more of a leg to stand on. But no, I don't understand the question. I want to fight you so bad. I want to grab you by your collar and say, why y'all so weak? Why y'all so damn weak? It's annoying. Y'all are so fucking annoying. Weak as hell. Just weak. I want to walk up to you on the street and fight you. Because y'all fall for anything. Y'all don't stand for nothing. Your brain is goop. And your spine is a jellyfish. You stand for nothing. Y'all stand behind women, hoping the women gonna make a way for you. I'm sick of it. As I sit in my RDX in front of Whole Foods about to get my oysters, I'm sick of it. I'm sick. Y'all are annoying as hell. Y'all are annoying and you're poor and you're broken. I'm sick of it. It's weird. When are you gonna have some substance to add to the conversation besides something you heard from somebody else you heard? And I'm sure whatever you're speaking on regarding Chad, it was not even a whole story. Because that's what y'all do. Y'all come over here with bits and pieces and, I'm going to get them with this one. Or I'm going to throw this one down and wait till I tell them they said this. and you end up landing flat on your face. I wish there was classes for y'all to learn to be men. I wish there were classes for y'all to stand up on your own 2 feet and be men. Grab your testicles and stand up and say, you know what, I got this. I'm tired of being a ding dong in the room. I'm tired of being a person asking all the questions that don't know nothing. I'm tired of being a person that is clueless about everything. But you can't, no, you can't, because you got to talk all this personal stuff and I got to throw all these rocks. I'm sick of y'all, Nick knocks. I'm sick of y'all. Y'all should be sick of y'all. But you're not. But you're not. But you're not. You're funny looking and you're poor. That's your problem. That's the end of it. I can solve all your answers. Why don't women like you? Because you're funny looking and poor. Why can't you get up in life? Because you're funny looking and poor. Why can't you get an apartment? Because you're funny looking and poor. Everything. That's your answer to everything. That's it. I'm telling you, I have the 8 ball. I got the answer. You're funny looking and you're poor. That's it. I land. Sick of y'all niggas.
Yeah, so I haven't.
Let me say this real quick.
Go ahead, bro.
Instead of an RDX, June, you need an RX prescription for something because you are nuts. You are crazy. Anyway, Maseo, with that being said, you dropped a lot of gems. I don't care what anybody else says. Specifically,
It's
when you
Mace,
discuss those communities, exploiting the black dollar and not and pouring into their community instead of theirs. In other words, they'll take our money, give it back to their Chinese, Indian, whatever community, but still have the nerve to disrespect us, especially in their stores, right? I can go in one of those Chinese stores, and I already know they're going to be watching me the entire time, and even if they are not, I'm going to feel like they are watching me, which is why I do not support them, right? And no BLK person should support those businesses when we exploiting the BLK economic dollar, right? Our economic viability, and then have the nerve to follow us around in stores, disrespect us, and even attack us at times. So I completely agree with what you said, Maseo.
Yeah, so I haven't heard one person debunk anything I said unless you can prove that German. If you can prove that German and Italian is a race, I'm very open to hear that. I'm very welcome to hear that.
This is the problem. It is a comprehension problem. This is the entire point. They are nationalities, which proves that they are not unifying based on the color of their skin. They are not unifying based on their race. They are nationalities. They place their nationality above their race. They will fight with each other, even though both of them are white.
So what did the mustache man do?
Because they will fight. So why? So if they are not unifying based on their race alone, if race does not supersede nationality, I'm telling you, I'll break this down. Then why are Black Americans being held responsible for doing what nobody else has done?
What did the mustache man do?
No, and let me finish.
What did the mustache do?
He placed his nationality over.
No question.
That was white people fighting with white people. What do you mean, the mustache man? He literally said we're a better form of white people, but we're still all white. What are you talking about? He just said that we're better. Like, you make no sense because you do not know how to comprehend things. That is the problem. I will go get a CAT scan. And then as far as what I said about you're trying to bring in that whole a woman can't keep a man for I'll repeat exactly what I said. It's actually on video. You can pull that up. Anybody else can pull it up too. Said it more than once. I can stand on what I said. I said a woman cannot keep a man from anything. So a man that is saying that a woman is keeping his child away from him is lying. A woman cannot even keep her own body away from a man who wants it from her. Because what do we call that's called grape. If a woman can keep a man from her own body, then grape wouldn't exist. A woman cannot even keep a man from her body or her daughter's body, because what's that called? That's called child molestation. That wouldn't exist if a woman had the power to keep a man off of her little girl. A woman can't keep a man from anything, but you mean to tell me that a woman can keep a man from seeing his own child? You are just making it. That's exactly what I said. None of that is false. You are just a weak man, and you got offended by that. That is your problem. You're a weak man with terrible comprehension skills. I can repeat it back to you as many times, and you will never understand it. Just like you clearly are saying that. I said something about countries and economies, and when how many times we have to cover that? Never said that at all. Never said that at all. But you do not. You have a handicap, and you are placing it on the rest of the world as if it is our fault that we have not accommodated you. You have the problem with understanding things. That is your fault.
So he just contradicted
guys,
himself.
real quick. Let's go ahead and keep on getting these lights up. We're at 3:15. Guys, again, we should be at 3:40 or better. Let's go ahead and press our way towards 3:20. Guys, if you have not hearted Paretic today, please do so. Please make sure that you are sharing this live out to your friends. Please make sure that you are gifting the host and the panelists. We know that you're enjoying this conversation because you're still here. Let's make sure that as we are commenting, we're also making those fingers go to work. Guys, there is no reason that we cannot get to 3:20 by 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. Guys, so please, let's make sure that we are tapping, that we are liking.
Yeah, so he just contradicted himself by agreeing that the Mustache Man unified the Third Reich based on the fact that they felt they were a superior YT race. Thank you for proving my point. So anyway, you already agreed with me, sir. You agreed that he felt that they were a superior white group.
You have a disability. Go get a CAT
Did
scan.
he not say did he not say the Mustache Man unified Germany under thinking they were a superior white race? He did say that, right? Okay, so that's an example of people unifying under race. So again,
Germany above the others. Their national anthem is literally Deutschland, Deutschland, über alles in der Welt. That means Germany
fine.
over everything in the world.
So if white people have not unified under race, how exactly have they been able to colonize the Caribbean, Africa, and America?
These were people who were unifying nationality first. It was not white.
So how come the Irish were able to come here and assimilate then?
I'm answering your question. Black people were not the preferred slaves because of their skin color. That had nothing to do with it. That actually came into handy later. Black people were the preferred slaves because black people were immune to the old world diseases that will cause the Indians to sicken and die. And then black people had nowhere to run versus the Indians who would escape slavery and go back and run back into their known land. You can Google what I said word for word, and then Britannica Encyclopedia. The source is right there because I know it by heart because I read that much.
Now give me a peer-reviewed study. Give me a peer-reviewed study on racism. Again,
guys, hold on. This should have been stopped a long time ago. Hold on. Can y'all hear me? I shouldn't have to say nothing. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Mika? Okay. Like, if I say y'all hear me, the first person is my team should be telling me yes or
yes,
no.
Yes,
ma'am. Listen, this is crazy work. I don't allow questions on the panel. I heard like 3-4 questions. Neither one of you guys cashed at me to ask each other questions. If y'all want to do questions on the panel, you have to send the Cash App. Otherwise, just stand on business and give your full rebuttal without no question.
Okay.
Go by what you know.
Okay, I'm going to give my full rebuttal. If no other group has unified under YT supremacy, or rather race, explain how no matter where you go, all YT people do and act the same. They colonize everything that is non-white, i.e. the Caribbean, America before they got there, and Africa. I don't care what group of YT people, be it German, Italian, Irish, Polish, whatever. When they get here, what do? They quickly assimilate into being a YT American and acting exactly the same. So what are you talking about? So what are you talking about that no group unifies under race? No matter where you go, black people are suppressed because of YT people and YT supremacy. So they have unified under a system that benefits them. You're not making any sense. And you literally prove my point with Germany. Mustache Man felt they were a superior race. He said that verbatim, and you repeated it here. So I don't know why you're still trying to argue this.
superior against other YT people. That's what you're not getting. If they were so, if the point was what you were trying to make, then they would not have waged war against other white people. Genius. They waged war against, they exterminated other white people because they did not care about those white people. They went to war against other white people. And then what are you talking about?
So what were the
country,
Axis
the
powers?
first thing you're saying, no, let me finish.
The Axis powers don't exist now?
Now you're introducing new questions.
Oh,
let me
let me
decimate the first thing you said.
I am standing
Let me
on
decimate the
business.
first thing you said.
Asking questions.
Right, that's all it does is obfuscate. The first thing you said, like, YT people don't even like other YT people. So again, what are you talking about? YT people, a rich YT person hates poor white trash. What are you talking about? If they have never unified based on race, how do you expect it? They all act the same no matter where they go. No, they don't. You ever saw a YT person care about an Albanian? They don't care about them poor white people. They don't care about them. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like all white people just get along because of the color of their skin. That is not true. You ain't never seen a rich. That tells me a lot about you. You've never seen a rich white person. Then never met one either because they don't care about no poor white from Kentucky. I'll tell you that much. They use them to fight their wars.
Yeah. Racism, YT supremacy.
They send their kids. They send the poor white kids to war, to their war, the war that they would never send their kids to. They use poor white people to fight and push their agendas that benefit them none. That benefit the poor whites none. But they use the poor whites to push they do not like them. They come back from war and they hook them on DRUGS. They hooked them on that. They created heroin that was created as a way to save our heroes, to get our heroes off of the morphine.
Can't say that word.
I said save our heroes.
Fruits in the chat.
I said save our heroes. They created that to save our heroes, to get them off of morphine. And they got addicted to that. They created that. It was marketed by Bayer. It was hailed as a wonder drug. Why don't you read?
He talking about everything except what the topic was. So again, racism and YT supremacy would not exist if YT people did not unify under race.
Which is the topic.
Oh, they keep muting because they want to protect this goofy.
Unless rich whites only care about other rich whites. They don't care about you white. Other white people in other countries, they don't care about no other countries at all. You think that the YT people in Germany cared about the YT people in Poland? You are crazy. Germany ain't nothing but the size of Alabama. That's like literally somebody from Alabama saying, I hate people in Mississippi. That's how close they were. But they completely waged war against them. They didn't unify even though they were all the same race. You make no sense because you do not understand the point, the subject. If that were the case, these countries would not have waged war against each other. If all they cared about was unification on the basis on the color of their skin, then
when these different ethnic groups of YT people.
What did you say?
Can I just interject and say something?
No.
I'm just gonna say something real quick. First of all,
Hold on. I'm back because I don't like what's going on, and I'm gonna address this later with my mods. But what's going on is you guys continue to interrupt each other, and you continue to ask questions. So if you guys can stand on business, we can go ahead and have the conversation. I want Chad to give his full rebuttal, and then Maceo, give your full rebuttal, and then we need to go around the panel and we can revisit this again because we need to circle it back to the prompt. No interruptions, no questions.
Right, Poetic. That's what I'm saying. They cannot do what was necessary. They cannot do what was told. They cannot follow instructions. Literally, that was the point, and all they're doing is introducing new points to try and obfuscate and dance around the subject. That was never the point. The point is, no other race is unifying with each other just based on the premise of race. At the end of the day, they lie, cheat, steal, and unalive each other way more than BOK people ever could. But you expect BOK Black Americans to unify just because to kumbaya with a bunch of people just because of the color of our skin. Nobody else does that. The Chinese don't. Chinese in Taiwan, they're the same people. Same people. The Japanese and the Japanese destroyed the Chinese in World War II. Same people. But you expect BOK people to, Black Americans to, when nobody else has done. There's more infighting. They have more infighting within their own within their own race, because they put ethnicity and nationality above race. But you expect Black Americans to put race above ethnicity and nationality.
Okay. Thank you, Chad. Can we go ahead and move around the panel?
Yeah, can I say this one?
Mika, I already said we're gonna go Chad and then Maceo.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is what Vanderbilt University has to say about that nonsense he just said. Racism, the systemic subordination of members of targeted racial groups who have relatively little social power in the United States, Blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, or BLKs, Latinos, Native Americans, and Asians, by the members of the agent racial group who have relatively more social power, YTs. This subordination is supported by actions of individuals, cultural norms and values, and the institutional structures and practices of society. Sounds like YT people unified under race. You don't know what you're talking about. When the Irish came here, they were able to assimilate. Why? Because they're YT. When the Polish came over here, they were able to assimilate. Why? Because they're YT. Name any other ethnic group of YT people. When they come together, they're able to unify because they're YT, and they're able to subjugate people that look like you and everybody non-YT. So again, that's why no matter where you go,
Again, we're not asking questions.
I'm not asking him a question.
Okay, go ahead. I heard what I heard, but go ahead.
That's why no matter where you go, the Caribbean, Africa, America, anywhere, YT people come together to colonize and extract resources from people that look like you and everybody non-YT. Just because they have a few petty little infighting here and there don't mean nothing. At the end of the day, when it comes from taking something from your community, they all own code. Why do you think every time you go into these panels right now, they're all on code about Carmelo Anthony? They're all saying the same exact thing. They're all on code about it because they're unifying under race to make sure that a little black boy that looks like you goes to prison for defending himself. You're the goofy that doesn't understand that.
All right. You guys, we'll circle back to this conversation in a moment. But we're gonna have to come back to it, guys. Navi, what's your thoughts with the exchange between Maceo and Chad? And then we'll go to Nikita and G.
I think that is extremely unfortunate that we're having a discussion about the differences between Africans, Caribbeans, and African Americans. I don't like it. I do not like it. I don't agree with you, Chad, when you're saying that they're not like us. I don't. Like, we may have living
But they were not like us.
differences.
There were differences. Are we going to pretend like there's no differences?
You gotta let me finish. You did say that. I was listening. I was on mute. You said that, but it's neither here nor there. It's not really something that it's not something that we need to go back and forth about that one statement. But what I'm hearing is, I don't like it. I don't like it because, to be honest with you, we don't have any allies here in the United States. We definitely don't have any allies within the community. We're like every man for himself. Right? Every man for himself. We'll turn on each other at the drop of a dime. All you got to do, especially between the brothers, all you got to do is present a piece of vagina and a little change, and that's it. That's it. We'll turn on our brothers quicker, fast as hell. Like, and so when it hit the fan, and it's going to hit the fan, we're gonna need allies. But right now, it's just kind of like we feel like we can stand on our own 2 feet. Even the great United States needed friends. They wouldn't have won their independence without the help of friends. We focus so much on our differences than who we are, what we have in common. right? And that's what causes the dissension. That's what causes the feelings of separation from within and also from out, right? Like, if they told us today, due to Sonny D's policies, that he's going to ship all of us out of here and send us, just drop us off in some random country on the continent, what's going to happen is we're going to be relying on a group of people that we have systemically tried to more focus on our differences than what we have in common or what we can possibly have in common, right? Like, and I'm just going to be honest with you, you know, as a people in the United States, black people in America, our culture, although we have cultivated our culture so that we can tailor it to ourselves, initially, our culture was given to us by the oppressor. Our food, our language, our attire, even how we wear our hair. And then we decided to tailor make it for ourselves according to our ancestral things that were flowing through our blood, which comes from the continent. And some people here that may find themselves to be indigenous. I just don't like it. I don't like it because I do, living on the continent as someone who's born in Cabrini Green in Chicago, I am African American, right? But then I found out last year in April that I'm also Native American. How do I process that? Right? Because I thought I was 100% Negro, right? And come to find out that my grandmother was born a slave in 1920. Decades after the Emancipation Proclamation. And am I now supposed to separate myself from people who consider themselves FBAs because now I have a situation where I have to dive into my Native American heritage? Like, we're all screwed up. Black people in America. We don't know, to be honest with you, we don't know where we're from. We just call ourselves Black Americans, but there is no nation on the planet Earth called Black. No, Italian American, Chinese American, Japanese American, Puerto Rican American, Colombian American, Dominican American, Black American. African American, Africa is a continent. It is not a culture. It's not a country, I mean. There is no nation on the planet named Black. Black is the unknown. That's why we're Black. It's an unknown. And you got people in there, Moorish American, I'm not from Africa. You don't know where you're from. The oppressor did one hell of a job at separating us from our land, language, and culture. And so for me, I tend to want to find out what we have in common from our Caribbean brothers and sisters, from our African brothers and sisters, because maybe if we can weed through what we have in common, maybe some of us can actually find out where the hell we're from. Because right now, we harping on our differences. Because, I'm listening to the conversation, and it went on a long time. And it was differences. Then we went into the mustache man and what they was doing over there and all this other stuff. And again, we're never going to know where we're truly from until we can try to find the common parts of who we are. Because some of you may think you're Native American and then you find out that you're not. Some of you may think you're from Africa and you find out that you're not. But you'll never find out if you are always trying to focus on the differences that you have with other people who share your melanin content, who share your hair, the texture of your hair, the fullness of your lips, the wideness of your nose. I'm not trying to admonish anybody. I'm not trying to go back and forth with anybody about this. I'm just expressing how I'm seeing this right like this, right? Because I mean, I could go to Ancestry.com or somewhere else like that, but guess what? They have to get that information from a YT person, and I don't trust them. They have never told the truth about anything. So how am I supposed to trust? Like, how is it that all African Americans are from West Africa somewhere, and then we don't have no Eastern African nothing? We don't got no Northeast African nothing. Even though a lot of us say we Hebrews, I have yet to see somebody say that my ancestors came from Palestine or Jericho or something like that, or Syria. Haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. You mean to tell me that just in one little part of the world, or maybe some European thrown in there a little bit? What the common knowledge, the common I can't even say it. But the things that we have in common with our Caribbean brothers and sisters, and our African brothers and sisters, our West Indian brothers and sisters, even our Polynesian brothers and sisters, and our Central and South American brothers and sisters. I want to dive into what we have in common with each other. Because then maybe then as Black Americans, we call ourselves foundational Black. There is no such country as Black. Maybe we can find our genealogy if we can try to look at what we have in common, right? Because if I am looking at myself now that I am partially Native American, how far that goes back, and what tribe behind that, and am I native from in the plains of America, or is I more connected to the southern part of South America? Like, what is that? And I just found that out in April of 2024. That's just how lost we are. And I'm gonna just land with this. I really don't care about what white people have done to each other. I only care about what white people have done to my people.
Let me say this, you guys. Everyone stay on mute. Me as the host, I act unbiased. I don't really give my take on things. But I do encourage everyone to stand on business. So if you feel like you're addressing what you want to address, don't be discouraged to do so, because my live is about having a real, raw conversation without beating around the bush. With that being said, I feel like some people aren't standing on business on the panel today. And the reason why I say that is because if we're going to have this conversation about Caribbeans and Americans, we would need to address the real issues, and then us, starting with us in this conversation of this live, start making changes in our daily lifestyles and who we talk to and how we operate. Okay, so but first we need to have the conversation and address the real issues. Let's not sit up here and pretend, because I haven't heard not one person say it yet. I understand Navi's being the peacemaker in the situation, which is very commendable, because we do. I think there is there is an importance in bridging that gap, but we still have to have the conversation first on why people feel some ways that they feel. G said it earlier that a lot of times Caribbeans will claim to be BLK, but once some issues happen with BLK Americans, they will separate themselves and be like, hey, I'm Jamaican. Well, I'm African. Well, I'm Haitian. They don't just say I'm BLK no more. But when it comes to BLK wanting to be territorial of their community and build their community with just BLK Americans, then they say, well, I'm BLK. They don't say, oh, well, I'm BLK and I'm separate from you guys. So again, we have to address real issues so that we can fix the problem. Now, I see it all the time where Caribbean people will say Black Americans are rude. Black Americans are uneducated. Black Americans have no respect for themselves. They have no culture. They have no language. I hear this from Caribbeans, Africans, a lot. And it's not an anecdotal, because I travel and I deal with different groups from Florida to California. And this is a theme that is stereotyped amongst the community, and I know for a fact that it happens. So, Caribbean people, if y'all want to up here and bridge the gap, please acknowledge that this happens. You probably didn't heard it from your family members, or you probably didn't said it yourself. They divide themselves from Black Americans all the time.
Poetic.
Okay, this is a common issue. This is not nothing uncommon. This is not anecdotal. This happens in real time. So let's have a real raw conversation, and then maybe some Black Americans wouldn't mind opening up that door, are literally embracing and hugging their Caribbean brothers and sisters, if we at least address that. Hey, I do hear my cousins or my grandma saying, oh, don't marry a Black American. I didn't see it many times where Haitian ladies, they'll tell their sons, oh, don't marry no Black American girl. Don't bring no Black American. They almost they've been affected by white tea supremacy also, to look at Black Americans with the same stereotype. So let's please be honest, because we cannot stand on business and solve issues if we try to act like everyone's noble. Everybody won a Nobel Peace Prize today, because then we're going to go back to those same communities that are separating themselves from Black Americans, okay? And then Black Americans who are literally, I guess, responding to that treatment, they're being territorial of their community and shunning you guys out. It's happening on both sides. So please, let's stand on business. Because if we're not standing on business, we're not having a real conversation.
Poetic, and then
So we have Nabi saying, okay, well, this is y'all shouldn't be talking about. We do need to talk about it because it's happening in real time.
Poetic, can I
We
just
have
say real quick,
Antique.
and then
We have Nikita saying that, hey, you know what? We are part of BOK. But first, you got to acknowledge that not all your family thinks like that.
I did say it earlier,
Oh.
sis.
Okay, no problem. But I'm not doing back and forth with y'all.
Oh no. I was just saying I did acknowledge it.
Well, hold on. If everyone can stay on mute, I'm throwing this out there because I have not heard that really get unpacked. Someone probably mentioned it a little bit briefly, but it has not been fully unpacked. Chad, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I got one last thing, and then I got my time up. But
let people respond to you if you're gonna say something.
Okay, but to your point, the thing that proves everything that you just said to be true, the fact that we all, if you look at the panel, the fact that we know where they from proves that they ain't with American. They don't even say that they Black Americans on a Black American panel. We know where they from because they always got to make it known. Period. Like I'm from Jamaica. I'm from Antigua. I'm from Who cares? If you want to say you Black American, and why do you have to separate yourself all the time? But when somebody calls you out on it, or when Black Americans say that they want to separate themselves and do the same stuff that y'all do, now it's a problem. But we always got to be the group that kumbaya and make peace and all this other crazy stuff. But they do that all the time. They will sit on your panel and clearly say, I'm Jamaican, I'm from this, I'm Caribbean, I'm all this other stuff. But ain't you supposed to be Black American? So what's up? They separate themselves all the time. So again, what's the problem with it when we do it? And then that's my time.
Can I respond to that?
Guys, we are at 3:19.
Mika, let them go. Let them go because I know they've been waiting. I just did an announcement, but thank you for doing announcements. So who's trying to go? Go ahead.
Okay, so first and foremost, if you do not identify as African American, I'm not sure why you would use African American language like kumbaya. That comes from the Gullah Geechee people, and it does not mean let's all hold hands and get along and be best friends. Ask any Gullah Geechee person what the meaning of that is. It is a combination of English and an indigenous African language, because the phrase is also understood within the Caribbean, since we share ancestry and language. When it comes to we don't identify with you, you have to understand that there is a world outside of the United States. I know, it's crazy. I've traveled it. In the United States, this is a very racialized country. Things exist in black and white. That's just how it is. People identify here in the United States by their race. It has always been a thing within the Black community. Black pride, Black power, I'm Black and proud. Period. I vibe with all of it. When you leave the United States and you go someplace like Antigua or Jamaica or Nigeria, I am not going to walk up to Navi or Maceo and say, hey, how's it going? I'm Antigua, I'm black. They have eyes. They can see me. They know that I'm black because I'm a black woman. It's one of the first things you see when you notice me. Either you notice I'm black or you notice that I'm a woman. Maybe you notice both. So identifying with our race is just not something that we do very often. Do we know we're black? Yeah, we do. We have a census in our countries as well. We check off our race as well. My country is about 90% black. There are other races that exist in my country as well that are not black people. There is like maybe 1% white people. We have maybe 2% Asian people. There are other races. So yes, we know that we are black. However, I'm not going to introduce myself and say, hey, I'm black. You don't even do that with each other because you can see that you guys are black. So you have to understand how the world works outside. Some people identify by nationality.
Antigua, sorry, you've been dropped. All right, you guys, you know how it works across the board. No hard feelings. If anybody drops you, I have to drop you, whether I think you're cool. But anybody can save their spot. Send anything higher than a money pow pow to bring back Antigua back on the panel so she can stand on business. So again, anybody can send anything higher than a money pow pow. Most people send a galaxy to save their spot so we can get her back up here. No comments on drops from anybody. You will be muted by the mods for 5 minutes if you comment on drops.
I'm still
88,
waiting for somebody
wait, hold on. 88, if you have a problem, you can save her spot. Other than that, do not speak negative of my platform. Otherwise, you could come to the panel and say it to my box. With that being said, Moz, please mute people being rude in the comments. Javon, if you can read the middle prompt and answer it.
Sure. So, Latinos, Chinese, Caribbeans, Africans, and Arabs have came over and done more for Black women and children than the Black man. My stance on that second bullet point on in the middle is I'm a go, and this is gonna be multi-layered, so bear with me. I'm not going to take too long. So just to recognize that some of what's being said in that second prompt, those are not races of people, right? Those can be either ethnic or national backgrounds. Like for instance, for me, I was saying in the comment section that I'm bi ethnic, right? So I'm a Black Latino man. My race is Black, but both of my ethnicities are that I'm African American and Puerto Rican. I'm a Puerto Rican in descendancy, but my nationality is that I'm American. Now to the point here, what race of people are we specifying? If you don't mind me asking, host, because you're saying in the middle one is.
Just answer the prompt, sir. I don't ask questions about the.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm still new. I'm new to your platform. So yeah. So I mean, I agree and disagree. And my point from it is that people have did a lot for Black women. Black men have tried their hardest to do so. However, Black men at every turn and point have kind of failed in that realm of doing the comeuppance when it comes to Black women. So I would have to say that Black men in that realm, they have, not done as much for Black women as other people have. But Black people as a whole have helped each other at some point in capacity. So I'm 50-50 on that bullet point there, the second one. That's all. I land my plane.
Wait, could you expound more?
Sure. So what I'm saying is that historically speaking, when we talk about in this context of this conversation, right? Because what your background is insinuating, right? I'm saying that Black men in certain points have done their best to fight for Black women, but they have also harmed Black women, right? So like Black men right now contribute about over 90% to the Black femicide rate. So when we have this conversation of the contributions that Black men have made or have tried to make to Black women, at some point you know, what black men had, even within the Black Panther Party, right? Like it came out a few years ago that the men in the Black Panther Party were abusing the women. Hence was one of the reasons why the party started to demolish and started to break apart, because again, when we look at different points of history where black women have tried their damnness and their hardest to fight and combat oppression and colonization, black men have tried to, but failed miserably when it comes to helping out black women. But then also on the flip side, there are also black men that have held at some capacity space for black women to ensure their safety and protection. But the majority of black men don't do that now. So to fast forward now, they don't do that. They do a horrible job at doing so. In fact, a lot of black men create podcasts and they create YouTube channels dedicated to bashing black women. So I'm a land there.
Yeah, so it's been almost an hour and nobody has shown me this group of non-black people that have collectively come together for black women and children.
Show you a collective of black men that have come together to destroy black women.
Hold
Isn't
on.
that
He
interesting?
has to cash out for questions. He has to cash out for questions. Because that is a question.
No, it's not
Hey, can you show me this, and this? That is a question. I do not allow questions unless you support the 5 goal. It's only $5. Why do you guys continue to ask questions and not send the $5?
Poetic. I didn't ask a question. I made a
Hold on.
statement.
For you to ask someone to, can you show me this? Hold on, June baby. Can you show me this? Is a question. Someone has to answer that.
I didn't say
that.
I said
The point is to
I said nobody
avoid
has.
people to have to respond to you. It's about standing on business on your complete thoughts.
Poetic. I didn't say can somebody. I said it's been an
Why
hour.
you still whining?
I said
Why
it's
you still whining?
okay. I'm whining. So
The
what I
whining is
said.
what
Hold on.
gets me about y'all.
Everyone please mute. Maceo, can you please stop?
Okay.
I know you want to go back and forth with me, but this is not the space for that.
Okay,
right
we'll
now.
do it later then.
Oh no, you wish. Okay, moving right along. It's open, the panel.
It's the whining for me. It's the adult men that come and they whine and, but poetic, I thought you said, but can somebody, you got a whole freaking computer in your hand. You annoy me and I want to fight you so bad. I really do. But poetic. Why do y'all seem to believe that because y'all been on this panel more than twice that she's your friend? She's not your friend. She's not your freaking friend. She's hosting the panel. She don't like you. She don't like none of you. Okay? So stop.
Drew baby, come on. Y'all
I'm sorry, I was being real.
Y'all don't speak for me. Come on.
I'm speaking for me. I don't like none of y'all. Y'all are annoying. She ain't your friend. Just because you come here several times a week, y'all ain't friends, so stop it. I don't know. And just because we smile at you at the grocery store when you open the door, I don't want to flirt with you. Y'all don't know how to understand communication or body language. Just because we allow you in a space doesn't mean we like you. It just means we had seats. Just because we smiled at you in the grocery store doesn't mean I like you. It means I had something up my butt and I didn't want you to see me. So stop acting like just because we give you a little bit of attention, that means that we have some kinship